Chimecho looking for the aggressive Astonish farm down, and we get it. Back out comes Claydol. First we show him the Shadow Ball. The opponent going to commit their final shield, and then we're going to hit him with the Energy Ball to the face, and that's going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Welcome back to the channel. This season, everyone got super hyped about a move update that was going to see Astonish become meta relevant. Of course, Niantic did it absolutely dirty. If you look on the screen, you're going to see what I mean by that. Astonish is a 3-turn move. It does 5 damage, generating 10 energy. As you can see, we've already got Hex, which not only generates more energy, it does more damage. So it's pretty much an absolutely irrelevant move, or at least in most metas. However, in Psychic Cup, this could be the one and only meta where it has some play. Chimecho has some great moves for this cup. However, as the energy generation is quite slow, I'm going to post on the screen the count it's going to take for each move. It's going to take you 18 turns to your first move and 15 to the next. So the objective is to get shields down so Chimecho can go to town. As this is the Psychic Cup, you're only allowed to use Psychic Pokemon. There is literally only 92 Pokemon that are eligible to enter this cup, and Chimecho is ranked 72nd. So this is going to be a very spicy pick. These battles today were, of course, submitted to the channel by my good friend Ty, the king of entertainment. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we see the Victini mirror. Both trainers fire off V-Crates and exchange Protect Shields. We now see the pivot into Chimecho. We tank the V-Crate like an absolute boss. The opponent now have a 4-stage lowered defense, and holy crap, Astonish so bad we don't manage to get the Astonish farm down, despite Astonish hitting for super effective. The opponent now send out Malamar. Ty goes straight for the energy ball, fishing for the defense drop. We get no defense drop, but that does land for heavy neutral damage. The opponent unable to Psycho Cut, farm us down. They fire off the foul play. The opponent still with 1 Protect Shield, 2 hide beyond. We send in Gardevoir, look for the snipe. Malamar hangs on with a sliver of HP, fires off the foul play. The opponent's final Pokemon is their own Charm Gardevoir. Victini just needs to farm up to the back-to-back V-Crates. The first one will be forcing the final Protect Shield, and the second one is going to vanquish the opponent back to their Pokeball, and Ty is off to an impressive 1-0 start. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see Victini into My Little Pony. The opponent pivots into Malamar. Ty looking for the chip and dip. We go straight for the V-Crate, putting early shield pressure on the opponent. The opponent obliges, putting up the Protect Shield. We then send out Gardevoir. The opponent build up to what could be a Hyper Beam. Ty thinking about calling the bait. Last second, we commit a Protect Shield on the foul play. Not a bad shield, to be honest, as Hyper Beam would vanquish us back to our Pokeball. The opponent does fire off the second foul play, and Gardevoir withstands the damage. The opponent sends out Bronzor. Bronzor gets the feint attack farm down. Ty now sends back out Victini. Victini wins the race to the charge move. We fire off the V-Crate on the CMP Ty. V-Crate forces the final Protect Shield. And at this stage, we're going to have to put all our hopes and dreams on the back of Chimecho. Payback does vanquish us back to our Pokeball. Out comes Chimecho. What the heck is this Pokemon? It looks like a fucking woman's earring, if I'm being brutally honest. You know that sort of earring you see at a posh dinner event worn by a middle-aged woman. However, it looks pretty good at closing this battle. Shadow Ball vanquishes Bronzor back to their Pokeball. Back out comes My Little Pony. The opponent fires off the Body Slam. Again, that was a CMP Ty. Ty commits his final Protect Shield, and this Shadow Ball is going to be all she wrote. Nicely done. Ty even gets a screenshot for the road. In the next battle, yikes, what a dreadful lead. Lunatone, very spicy, but definitely very good at countering the very annoying Victini. Ty save switches into Gardevoir, and the opponent looks like they've got us exactly where they want us. They send out Jirachi, running Charge Beam. Jirachi, due to their steel typing, is going to withstand the charm damage. However, the opponent did commit a Protect Shield on the triple axle. Ty now sends out Chimecho with a shield advantage. However, we instantly shield the Doom Desire. Can we get the Astonish farm down before the next charge move? Of course we can't, because Astonish is still a fucking garbage move. We shield up the next Doom Desire. The opponent give up switch, recognizing we're trying to farm all the way down. Send out Latias. Latias shields up the first Shadow Ball, but Chimecho says I might look like a woman's earring, but I'm pretty fucking mean with energy. We fire off the next Shadow Ball, vanquishing this dragon. Back to their Pokeball, back out comes Lunatone. Ty attempts to catch the charge move, however gets caught in the fast move animation. Rock Slide takes us out. We send out Victini. Victini reaches the V-Crate, but is a resisted V-Crate enough to knock out No, it's not, but one more quick attack gets the job done, and Jirachi dies to one quick attack, and we take that game. Victini into My Little Pony. Victini looking to vanquish this pony. Straight back to the toy shop. The opponent farm up to what could be a high horsepower tie. Calls the bait and the opponent fires off the play rough. Definitely not the move you're looking for in this meta. You want to either run high horsepower or mega horn. Tie fires off a V-Create, forcing the first Protect Shield, then fires off back to back. Victini does get his victim. This pony sent right back to the toy shop. The opponent then send out Latias, and we answer with Chimecho. The Shadow Dragon Breaths are tearing us apart. Ty still has 2 Protect Shields, so opts to invest one here. He shields up the Psychic. Ty then over farms, fires off the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball's either going to force the final Protect Shield or secure the knockout. The opponent saving their final Protect Shield for Delphox, and this is going to get somewhat tricky. Not only does Delphox resist our charm damage, they've actually got a Protect Shield as well. Ty shields up the Mystical Fire. We're going to need to fast move, beat down this Delphox. The opponent outpaces the Mystical Fire. Number 2, it takes Delphox 5, then 4, then 5 fast moves to each Mystical Fire. Can we get there before they reach the 3rd Mystical Fire? Holy smokes, the opponent dies at the charge move, and Ty wins an incredibly close game. GG's. Victini into My Little Pony, aka Galarian Rapidash, and this is why I essentially hate Psychic Cup. When you come up with such a limited meta, you really are just going to see the same matchups over and over. Ty tanks the Body Slam, fires off the V-Create. The opponent show no respect. They just completely sack the pony. Out comes Claydol. Ty opts to throw the V-Create, and I imagine we're then going to pivot. We do fire off the V-Create, and Ty does pivot into Gardevoir. The opponent take a whole heap of charm damage and then send out Bronzor. Ty doesn't even build up to the Shadow Wall. He goes straight for the triple axle. Is the opponent counting? Evidently they are not. And I'll be honest, when I play this cup, I don't really count. I just tap my phone and hope for the best because this meta is fucking boring. The opponent then don't commit to the full feint attack farm down. They opt to throw a charge move. This now allows Ty the opportunity to come into Chimecho. We're going to be able to shield once. We're finally going to be able to Astonish farm down something. This is probably the first time in the history of the game we've Astonish farm down anything from around that health range. Back out comes Claydol. First we show him the Shadow Ball, forcing the final Protect Shield, and then we're going to hit him with the Energy Ball to the face. And that is going to be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. Victini into Jirachi, a great lead for Ty. The opponent pivot out into Malamar. Ty going straight for the V-Create, looking to put early shield pressure on the opponent. The opponent does oblige, giving us that Protect Shield. We then send out Gardevoir. The opponent is at a Hyper Beam, but Ty not interested in shielding, knowing Gardevoir is going to get realigned with that Jirachi. The opponent full send the Hyper Beam, vanquishing us back to our Pokeball. However, Ty still in the driver's seat. We can send in Victini, shield the foul play, quick attack farm all the way down. Now Victini is absolutely loaded. The opponent's final Pokemon is of course Rapidash. What else do people run? We land the first V-Create. The opponent's still hanging on to that Protect Shield, but Ty says there's plenty more of where that came from. We fire off the next V-Create, forcing the final Protect Shield, and it's Chimecho time. Ty correctly shields up the Mega Horn. The opponent send out Jirachi, but Jirachi's going to be straight in and straight out. Chimecho going to vanquish it, back to the Pokeball, and one Astonish is going to take care of Rapidash, and Chimecho is without a doubt the most astonishing closer of them all. You heard it here first. Dreadful lead. Victini into Broxish. Ty fires off the V-Create. V-Create still lands for heavy neutral damage. We pivot out into Gardevoir, looking to snipe, and the opponent send out the pony. The pony then throws an alignment. No trainer. That alignment throw is going to mean Gardevoir can shield once. The charm does take him out, and the opponent send out their own Gardevoir. We go for the triple axle, not only forcing a Protect Shield, but vamping up our charm damage. 2 charms get Gardevoir down into the yellow. This is now going to be a very easy fast move beatdown to the finish. Yes, that's right. We're going to Astonish beatdown the opponent. Can you believe it? Because I can't. We do Astonish farm down Gardevoir after committing our final Protect Shield. The opponent send out Broxish. They're forced to throw. We then send in Victini, get the quick attack farm down, and we take that game. Victini into Malamar. The opponent actually choose to give up switch, sending out Galarian Slowbro. Ty has Psychic, which is pretty spicy in this meta. The opponent shield up the first move, and as Ty hasn't lowered his own defense, we could actually survive a Surf. However, Ty opts to shield it anyway. Victini now farming up. This time we go for the V-Crate. V-Crate going to land for heavy neutral damage. The opponent opt to shield again, and we make a savage catch, catching the surf onto Chimecho. Despite this Pokemon looking like a posh middle-aged woman's earring, it's actually reasonably bulky. Ty thinking he's going to survive another surf. What a call. We survive on 1 HP and a dream. We reach the Shadow Ball to Ty. Maintain switch and shield advantage. Back out comes Malamar. They farm down, but Ty now has the alignment that he wants. We send in Gardevoir. We do survive one foul play. It does hurt, but Gardevoir does survive, and the Psycho Cuts are resisted. The opponent needs to pivot. They give us the full Charm Down, farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is My Little Pony. We get off one Charm, pivot out into Victini. We can just shield up the Body Slam, fire off the V-Crate, and that is going to be all she wrote. Victini going to be cleaning up once again. Moving on to the next one. Victini into another My Little Pony. Niantic, please never bring me this fucking cup again, as I'm just shoutcasting the same 6 Pokemon over and over, and I don't think me or anyone else really need this in our lives. As always, I've got distracted, gone off on a mad tangent, so I suppose I better return to the commentary, as that's probably what you're here for. Ty got baited, respecting a high horsepower. The opponent fire off the back-to-back body slams. Ty fires off the V-Crate. The opponent opt to save shield advantage and send out Raichu. Ty still firing off V-Crates after V-Crate. The opponent gives us one Protect Shield, and they're likely going to give us both, as Victini hits like a truck. Raichu does give us both Protect Shields, and here comes Chimecho. Little Chimecho's bulk has impressed me, so we should be able to survive a wild charge reasonably well. The opponent actually just throw a Thunder Punch. Ty now going to invest the Protect Shield on the Chimecho. We shield up the next Thunder Punch. We throw one Astonish and the Shadow Ball, which is going to vanquish Raichu. Back to his Pokeball, this Glass Cannon can't survive any charge moves. Let's not kid ourselves. The opponent's final Pokemon is a Confusion Victini. Trainer, you need to TM the quick move to quick attack. However, it don't really matter, as no quick move would be saving you. We Shadow Ball him to the face. Ty gets the screenshot for the road, and we're going to move swiftly on. Victini into Broxish, not the best lead. We know Ty likes to chip and dip. We fire off the V-Crate. The opponent commit a Protect Shield, and here comes Gardevoir. The opponent send out My Little Pony. This trainer has better knowledge of when to throw a charge move. They don't throw an alignment, which is going to mean My Little Pony will reach a second Body Slam. This second Body Slam will be forcing Ty's final Protect Shield. We've gone all shields in on the tap-tap fast move beatdown strategy. If Rapidash is their best Shadow Gardevoir answer, this Shadow Gardevoir could still be a problem for the opponent. Back out comes Broxish. We fire off the triple axle, forcing the final Protect Shield. The opponent forced to throw, as they don't fancy any more of this oppressive charm damage. Aqua Tail takes us out. Ty now sends in Chimecho. Both this Toxic Fish and Chimecho take 18 turns to each charge move. Ty exited just short of the charge move. The opponent is also 2 bites short of the charge move. Ty fires off the V-Crate. Raichu hangs on a sliver of HP. They fire off the Thunder Punch, and this is perfect. We can now come in, get the one Astonish that we need. I've got no idea who wins CMP. However, the opponent hasn't got a charge move. We fire off the Energy Ball, and that's going to be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. We see a David versus Goliath battle here, as the tiny Victini takes on this enormous Shadow Lugia. Ty goes for the V-Crate. V-Crate going to do a lot of damage to Shadow Lugia. The opponent tanks it like an absolute champ. Ty going to invest on his Victini. We shield up the Sky Attack. Can we get the full Quick Attack farm down? Ty doesn't go for it. We look to snipe with Gardevoir. The opponent answer our Gardevoir save switch with Broxish. They just about make a charge move. Ty not going to invest his final Protect Shield. The opponent go for the Psychic Fang, which does take us out. In comes Chimecho. We get the Astonish farm down. The opponent send back out Lugia, giving us a further 3 Astonish. Thank you very much. Chimecho needs all the help it can get. The opponent's final Pokemon is Cresselia. Chimecho goes straight for the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball puts Cresselia's bulk to the test, and that actually did respectable damage. Let's not kid ourselves. The opponent fires off the Moonblast. Chimecho shrugs it off like an absolute boss. We then pivot out into Victini, banking the Shadow Ball for the road. The first V-Crate forces Cresselia's first Protect Shield. We fire off V-Crate number 2 on the CMP Ty, and that is going to be game over. Cresselia can throw whatever they like. Ty still has a Protect Shield. Moonblast, even resisted, takes us out. We come back into Chimecho, over farm for no reason whatsoever other than Ty likes to play with his food. We fire off the Energy Ball and we take the dub. Heading into the final battle, which is a bonus battle with slightly different variation of the team. We've got rid of Victini and we've substituted it with Defense Deoxys. Do I think Defense Deoxys is a good Pokemon in this meta? No, I don't. Counter is the best quick move in the game. However, this is the Psychic Cup where every single Pokemon is at least a sub-psychic or full psychic type, so counter is definitely not going to be a good quick move in this meta. However, as always, I've got distracted, so getting back into the commentary, this is one of the advantages of Defense Deoxys. It is so incredibly bulky. Tai survives on 1 HP and a Dream, gets the next Thunderbolt, forcing a Protect Shield off this pony. We then send in Gardevoir. Gardevoir going to tank the Body Slam. We then see their pivot, Chimecho, gets the Astonish farm down. Chimecho has 2 Protect Shields and a running start. The opponent, much like every other opponent we've faced, is probably bamboozled, thinking what the heck is on my screen. Tai gonna need to start shielding. We shield up the first V-Create. Tai over farms. We don't fire off the Shadow Wall. Tai gonna invest his final Protect Shield on the next V-Create. The opponent look to reset their debuff, sending out Gardevoir. Chimecho goes straight for the Shadow Wall, forcing the final Protect Shield. Can Chimecho make one more? Yes, we can. Just about. This Shadow Wall is going to vanquish Gardevoir back to their Pokeball. We then pivot out into our own Gardevoir. Look to get off as much fast move damage as possible. The opponent going to be forced to throw. They throw the V-Crate, lowering their own defense. Chimecho comes in and we manage to Astonish farm down and take that game. As always, a huge thank you to Tai for not only bringing us a really spicy pick, but using something with the new, I'll put in inverted commas, buffed Astonish. Chimecho, probably more for fun than climbing, but we're in the early ranks. Who really cares about Elo? This really isn't the time to stress. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you like your battles featured on my channel, a link to my battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.